Parc Saint Paul is a family amusement park approximately an hour north of Paris, which is home to some interesting and quirky rides, the most notable of which is Wood Express, a Gravity Group family wooden coaster filled with fun airtime. But is this ride alone enough to merit a visit? Hey, this is Stu for Out and Back Travel. I make videos like this one to help inspire your own theme park adventures. Coming up in this episode, what's it like to visit one of France's best value theme parks? Have all the airtime. Going up very slowly. Mickey, is that you? Still going up? Any moment now. Jesus Christ, would you look at that theming? Parc Saint Paul is a mainly family-focused amusement park, but definitely catering more towards children. The place is literally littered with play areas and many children's rides, like a Crazy House on a Stick here. But adult guests won't feel out of place. It's not like going to a Gulliver's Park or anything like that. At €25 for an adult admission ticket, free car parking, lots of picnic facilities, this park is certainly focused on providing value for money. Set inside a woodland with nature trails, the newer additions do seem to have more of an emphasis on theming, like the Dino Disco coaster, which is one of the most themed disco coasters out there. This new Nebulous ride was under construction during our visit, but is looking like it will also be themed as well. And this is probably one of the most elaborate archway entrances ever for one of those racing water slides. The pirate ship is themed to Noah's Ark, so that's Noah up there on the rock, not Jesus, as I incorrectly first thought. And the Wave Swinger has monsters on the canopy in lieu of the usual alpine landscapes. The classic monsters, like Frankenstein, Dracula, the ghost from Casper, Gollum, and Jim Carrey's The Mask. Okay. I wonder if that movie had a different cut in France. Let's just check in on the drop tower. No, she's still climbing up. Okay, well, we'll come back later. Wood Express then. This is the main reason to consider a visit to Parc Saint Paul, a fantastic Gravity Group family wooden coaster, opening in 2018 at a cost of €3 million. This was a complete bargain too. The ride is only 50 foot tall, but don't let that fool you, as it delivers wonderful fun airtime on every hill. 13 moments in total will have you floating up and out of your seat. The park is running the coaster with 2 trains. The dispatchers were very efficient, apart from the usual guest faff. The staff were doing all they could to keep that line moving quickly. The Timberliner train is a cute 6 rows long, or should that be short, seating 12 people. Well, let's face it, nobody's a fan of these trains. As this ride isn't too tall or going that fast, they're perfectly fine here, and you get the right level of shake, rattle and roll you'd expect from a comfortable Woody. What's it they say? It's not the size of the wizard's wand, it's the magic they can perform with it. That definitely applies here. This is a wonderful coaster, accessible to the family audience and providing the classic roller coaster thrills for all ages. It really is exceptional. Elsewhere, for the cred counters out there, there's a Wacky Worm and a Zamperla Minnie Mouse coaster, as well as a full-size Spinning Mouse coaster. The queue for this one moved quickly too. The staff were really focused on banging the cars out. This Vekoma coaster was relocated from a shopping mall. Think of it as a junior coaster up on the stilts, which is perfectly fine. Wild Train is a rare thing made by the lesser spotted PAX rides. It was actually quite enjoyable and didn't try to kill us nearly as much as we thought it would do, as it appears from off-ride with its janky turns. It's actually next to the drop tower, which is also made by PAX, which is still going up very, very slowly. Elsewhere, you'll find the Dino Disco coaster, that's not a credit, Wave Swinger, and the Noah's Ark pirate ship, as we previously mentioned. There's also the Dino Splash log flume, which is nice and has some animatronic dinosaurs, the Aqua Splash racing water slide, this Mississippi boat, which has all the elegance of a floating porter cabin, but really it's a nice thing to have, sailing around one of the park's many waterways on this very boxy barge. The back corner of the park, which I guess is the horror theme section with big skeletons and of course Jim Carrey's The Mask. Okay. You'll also find the Haunted Castle walkthrough with spooky animatronics. This one delivers some good jump scares. The park apparently does a really good Halloween event, and if the quality of this year-round tour is anything to go by, I can see why. There's also a Hall of Mirrors, or Mirrors Magiques, located inside these clown holes. and a 3D walkthrough too. This is some kind of restaurant. I can really see the park concentrating on adding theming and improving the presentation of the park, which is lovely to see. Some bits of the park were quite quirky and odd, like the hand wash sinks for these restrooms were al fresco, which is a choice, I guess. The bumper cars have these odd ride-on cars. You also have these retro cycles, which is a pedal-powered carousel, very Tour de France. And of course, a part of your more classic monster wave swinger, Jim Carrey's The Mask.
Okay.
And the excruciating slow speed of that drop tower, which is still going up. Is it worth a visit then? Would I prioritise Parc Saint Paul over visiting Parc Asterix Disneyland Paris? Well, of course no. This one is more of a deep cut when you've experienced the main parks that France has to offer. Could it be done in half a day and paired up with another park or sightseeing? Well, most definitely yes. You could easily get this park done in half a day. We had kind of 3/4 of a day here. We left around 3 p.m-ish to go catch a ferry, and that was sufficient time to explore the park at our leisure. We also visited on a weekend day in August, so it was a little crowded. However, the park's operations were fab and efficient, and the queues all moved up. I was really impressed by the value this park had to offer. €25 is such a great deal. The food in the park was also really varied and quite affordable too. Lots of visitors did seem to have their picnics though, and they had loads of these shelters around the place, which are all full of families having massive feasts. While there's some great work going on in the presentation of the attractions, I would still say this is more of an amusement park rather than a theme park. The rides are a quirky collection in the woods, so if you have the right expectations going in, I'm sure you'll have a great visit just like we did. Wood Express is an exceptional coaster and it's probably worth the admission alone. Next time we visit the Paris area, I would definitely consider adding Parc Saint Paul into the itinerary for at least half a day. I can't wait to go back. So that concludes this postcard from Parc Saint Paul. But what do you think? Would you visit this park if you were coastering through France? Is Wood Express enough to get you to visit? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, stay safe on the way out and back. Finally!